Weren't those guys amazing? Let's give another round of applause for the parkour team. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you in Las Vegas. We're here in the midst of 3,000 people, the world's leaders in talent acquisition. And we're joined by several thousand more streaming in live from around the world in what has become the world's largest recruiting conference of its kind anywhere. And leading up to the conference, I was reminded of a speech that Steve Jobs gave upon his return to Apple back in 1997. He talked about how all great companies have a tremendous sense of their identity. And he encapsulated it with a simple question: who do they honor? He talked about how Nike honors great athletes and great athletics. And he believed that Apple honored people who were crazy enough to think that they could change the world. Here at LinkedIn, we honor people that create dream jobs. Dream jobs change lives. It's almost as if your physical body chemistry changes. It's completely visible to your friends and your family. And what's inspiring to me is that the people in this room create these moments on a daily basis around the world, perhaps more than any other audience. And my hope is that if we can work together over the next 2 days to advance as a group, that we can create that feeling for even more professionals than ever before. I wanted to spend the morning sharing with you our vision for the future of talent acquisition, but before I did, I wanted to talk a little bit about the health of the LinkedIn ecosystem, because it really is that ecosystem which is the foundation for all of the value that we create together. The most important value at LinkedIn as a company is that our members come first. And what that means is that our ultimate loyalty is always to you as an individual before it is to you as an organization. And we measure ourselves against a very specific vision, which is to create economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. In fact, if you went to Mountain View, California, where our headquarters is, and you interviewed a set of engineers, what you'd find is that the vast majority of them are working on features or products that we never intend to sell, that are specifically designed to advance the free member experience on LinkedIn. And yet we understand that a healthy and vibrant membership is the foundation of building a great business and helping you hire great people. So what I want to do is take a few moments and share with you how the LinkedIn ecosystem is evolving. I'm happy to report that the ecosystem is in the healthiest place in the company's history. Members are signing up in record numbers. In fact, there are over 238 million members on LinkedIn around the world. That's growing at 2 members a second, and that's 60 million more than we had this time at Talent Connect last year. But it's not just the size of the network that's changing, the shape is evolving as well. We're expanding into new geographies and hitting scale. In fact, in the last year alone, 10 new countries crossed the 1 million member mark, places like Peru and Russia and Singapore. And the industries that our members are represented by is also changing. I can remember a time several years ago when LinkedIn felt like a technology-oriented website. And yet today, we have over 15 million members in healthcare, 1 million members in fashion, and 100,000 members in ranching. So if you're looking for a hospital technician or a fashion director, or even this guy, we've got someone for you. Professionally speaking. Professionally speaking. But perhaps the evolution of the network that I'm most excited about is what's going on with students. Because students are a professional population that makes some of the most critical career decisions in their lives, often with almost no information. I mean, remember back to a time when you were a student, you talked to anyone. You would talk to your professors, you'd talk to your friends, you'd talk to your families, try to build together a collage of information that would help you make a really hard choice. And the reason that you needed to do that was because the data set to help you understand what options were in front of you and how to be successful just wasn't available. That data set now exists on LinkedIn. And that's why over 30 million college students and recent grads have joined the network. It's our fastest growing demographic. Earlier this year, we launched University Pages, which allows students and alumni to look at what people before them from their school have gone on to accomplish in their careers. This is my alma mater, Johns Hopkins. And by going to this page, I can get a feel for what's possible in my career, and I'm even can be inspired by some notable alumni before me, people in this case like Michael Bloomberg. Earlier this year, we launched this product, and now there are over 1,000 university pages across LinkedIn, and the number is growing weekly. Another area where we've seen a change in the ecosystem is in identity. The LinkedIn professional profile has always been at the center of our website. And in the last year, we've seen 70% increase in the number of members that are updating their profiles. But it's not just about the number of people updating their profiles. The concept of the profile is evolving in itself. And here's a great example. So this is Kate, and Kate is a makeup artist. And while I can get a pretty good sense of what Kate's capable of from reading the companies that she's worked at and the jobs that she's held, sometimes a picture says 1,000 words. And so when I see these images, it completely changes my perspective of what she can accomplish. A little more Cirque du Soleil than my morning routine, but pretty impressive. We launched a product earlier this year called the LinkedIn Portfolio, which allows members to embed multimedia content directly into their profile. And that's just not for people in the visual arts. It's for marketers, and for architects, and for chefs. Since we launched this product, over 3 million pieces of multimedia content have been uploaded into profiles. And we're incredibly excited about what this means, not just for members showcasing their capabilities, but what it means for all of you looking for great people. So we've talked about growth, we've talked about identity, but one of the most exciting dynamics that's going on LinkedIn is how members are increasingly coming to glean insights to be better at the jobs that they're in. Last year at Talent Connect, we were right on the heels of the launch of the Influencers platform, which is a way for business luminaries and leaders from around the world to share their latest thinking on the future of their industries and how to be a great professional on the LinkedIn platform. And in the last year, that's grown to over 400 influencers. One of the things that I've found personally fulfilling is that for me, the Influencers program has been a bit of a personal circle of mentors. And one of those mentors is Fred Kaufman, who I couldn't be more excited. Fred's going to be up here tomorrow to share with you his latest thinking as a keynote speaker, his specialties in the area of leadership and organizational health. And I can remember a moment a couple months ago where I was working with my team, and we just, you've been in this moment, we weren't making the progress that I was hoping to make, and I was reflecting on how I was contributing to the problem. And it was almost as if Fred was reading my mind, because the next day, he posted an article, and it started with a very simple phrase. He said, "Decisions are worthless unless you turn them into commitments." And it was the kind of simple and practical advice that I could immediately put into practice. And it helped me chart my team forward. And what I find amazing is that I am just one of 500,000 people that read this article. And I can only imagine how it changed their day just like it changed mine. The latest group of thought leadership that's happening on LinkedIn is not from people at all, but it's actually from companies. Companies like AIG and IBM, and in this case, Shell, are using LinkedIn as a platform to share their latest thinking on the future of their industry. And for them, it's a way to build deeper relationships with professionals all over the world. This is a great example. In this case, Shell has an interactive module where you can learn about the evolution of power generation and the challenges and opportunities in front of a company like Shell over the next 20 years. It's exactly the kind of piece that's thought-provoking and gives you a sense of what it might actually be like to be in Shell's shoes and how to deal with problems like this. The health of the ecosystem has never been in a better place. Growth, identity, and insights. We've made huge strides in the last year. But enough about LinkedIn. Let's talk about why we're here. And I don't believe that we're here because of LinkedIn. I don't believe we're here because of social media. I don't even believe we're here because of the internet. We're here because we're in the midst of the most transformational evolution in the history of talent acquisition in the last 100 years. And let me show you what I mean. I want you to imagine a pyramid of talent across the global economy. At the top of the pyramid are true impact players, people for whom the difference between someone okay and someone great makes a massive difference to the business. I want you to think about CEOs, heads of divisions, senior researchers at your company. And at the bottom of the pyramid, I want you to imagine people for whom the difference between someone okay and someone great just matters a little. And the example that I like to use, and I apologize if anyone's done this job, is a grocery store checkout clerk. Now, you go to the grocery store and you select all your items, and their job is to help you through the payout line and send you on your way. And a great employee shows up on time consistently and is more helpful with customers, but it's not going to make or break the business. And we've got roles everywhere in between. And over the last 100 years, we've had two recruiting models that have mapped very well to these two ends of the spectrum. At the top, we have headhunting. And headhunting tends to be a high-quality, high-cost process that works really well if you're not trying to operate at scale. And at the bottom, we've had help wanted, which is the opposite dynamic. And originally, help wanted might have been a sign in the front of your store, and eventually it was a newspaper ad in the classified section, and maybe more recently a job post online, but essentially it's the same thing. It's an advertisement targeting active candidates that are looking for work. And it has the opposite characteristics. It's a low quality, low cost process, but it works really well at scale. And 100 years ago, this was fine, because your organization looked like this. Think railroads, think big factories, think farms. You had a small number of people at the top of the company that made most of the decisions, and they oversaw a very large pool of semi-skilled labor. But that's not what your organization looks like. Your organization looks like this. We've seen a massive shift in the makeup of how organizations are structured. And what it translates into is that for most of you, between 40 and 80% of the people that you need to hire need to be great for them to be what you need. And that has broken our recruiting model. We need great people at scale, lots of them. For the past 5 years, we've been laser focused on trying to help you solve this problem. And we believe that the answer is passive talent. Because 80% of the world's professionals aren't looking for work, and yet that population often contains some of the best and brightest. And for the first time, LinkedIn has provided a platform to access passive talent at scale around the world. But if we've learned anything, the strategies to attract passive candidates are completely different than those to attract active ones. I mean, these people don't need a job. They have a job, oftentimes a great one. And as a result, we've needed to learn completely new skills, whether it's branding and pipelining, or Boolean search, or sourcing. And in many cases, we needed to learn how to talk about our jobs and our companies the same way the world-class marketers talk about their products and services. What's inspiring for me is to know that so many of you here today have made this transition elegantly and are truly world-class in some of these disciplines. And yet, some of you are in that process. And I wanted to take a moment to say thank you, because building our product suite over the last several years has taken a tremendous amount of feedback. And many of you in the audience, and you know who you are, have provided exactly the right guidance and exactly the right push at the right time for us to build solutions that work. But the world doesn't stand still. And the line of best in class changes every year. And we believe that there are two strategies that are going to define best in class over the next several years when it comes to passive talent. So I wanted to take a moment to share those with you. The first is that we need to rethink the candidate experience. The process of having a passive candidate decide to join your company doesn't happen in an instant. It's not an impulse choice. It's a journey, and it takes time. And so many of us have invested in all of the various touch points, whether it be the imagery on our career sites or the videos of our employees talking about the amazing things that they're doing. But in an increasingly noisy world, each of these touch points really risks just skimming off the surface. We need a new candidate experience, one that puts the candidate in the driver's seat and allows them to take any path that they choose to find the right job. to be inspired by your organization. And we believe that new experience is called the new candidate journey. Over the last year at LinkedIn, we've invested to take all of the various touch points across the platform, whether it be career pages or jobs or work with us or the apply flow, and integrate them in a way where they work together seamlessly and allow the candidate to chart their own path to learn about your organization. Let me show you how it works. I want you to imagine for a second a passive candidate named John. And John comes to LinkedIn one day and realizes that one of his former colleagues, Stephanie, has recently joined Adobe. And John's used Adobe products. He's a web developer or designer. But he's never thought about Adobe as an employer. And so he decides to follow them to see what Stephanie's organization's up to. And over the course of the next several months, he starts to get updates from Adobe. He starts to hear about new product launches. He starts to read about some of their corporate philanthropy efforts. And he starts to read what some of their executives are saying is the future of their industry. And then one day, he reads an article that connects with him on a different level. It's about the future of digital publishing. And he's so inspired by the article that he starts wanting to learn more about who wrote it. And so he winds up researching the product marketing executive that put it together. And in the process of researching that person's profile, he sees it for the first time. A Work With Us module on the right rail that has a job exactly suited for him. And what started as a casual process of inquiry now has momentum. So he checks out the job, starts reading about what some of the qualifications are, and they feel very appropriate for him. And as he scrolls down, he learns not just about the job, but about the company's philosophy with regard to talent. And he starts watching a video that talks about what some of Adobe's best and brightest around the world are doing. And that experience is made possible because of our new integration between job posts and career pages. And curious to learn more, he actually jumps to the career page and does a little more research on what people in his specific sector are up to. And at the end of the process, he decides, I'm going to throw my name in the hat. And yet, he doesn't have a resume, but he does have a LinkedIn profile. And 2 steps later, he's applied. With the gnawing thought going in the back of his mind that maybe Adobe's my dream job. The new candidate journey is a dance. It's a dance where the candidate leads, and yet you're with them every step of the way to provide the right information and insight to guide them through that journey. This is the future of nurturing great talent into your organization. And yet, as we all know, passive talent often requires us to make the same move, make the first move. And we're increasingly in a sea of ever-expanding dance partners. And finding the right person can be challenging. You know great talent when you see it, and yet the process of finding that perfect candidate can be very hard. What we need to do is to blend the art of your instinct for what great looks like with the science of data and analytics to unearth the right candidate at exactly the right moment to help you find what you need and to nurture great people into your company. And we call that new dynamic intelligent candidate discovery. But let's talk about how this might apply in a world today. Over the last year, we've taken the concepts of intelligent candidate discovery and woven them directly into the fabric of LinkedIn Recruiter. Earlier this year, we launched People You May Want to Hire, which observes all your behavior on Recruiter, the profiles that you're looking at, the searches that you're doing, and unearths candidates for you that you never might have found on your own. And there's Talent Match, where every time you post a job, we scan the 238 million members across LinkedIn, and we find for you those that are likely to be a great fit so that you can be proactive and reach out to them. And as we all know, timing is everything. I mean, a candidate that one day doesn't want to talk to you, a month later, something's changed in their life where all they want to do is talk to you about the right job. And so features like search alerts and Update Me make sure that you're aware when something's changed in the lives of the candidates that you're tracking. There's so much we can do by taking the signals that are inherent in the LinkedIn ecosystem to make you more effective at finding exactly the right person, oftentimes without ever having to conduct a search. But let's talk about search for a second. Because we envision a future where search can be more personalized. Because let's be honest, if you're searching for a Java software engineer and you go to LinkedIn, we serve you the best matches for a Java software engineer. And yet the person you're looking for is different than the recruiter sitting next to you or the company down the street. You don't want any Java software engineer. You want the ones that worked at companies and went to schools that have produced some of your best and brightest talent. You want Java software engineers that are interested in talking to you because they already know people that work at your company or they're following your organization. You want the Java software engineers that are perfect for what you're looking for. And in that world, it's no longer LinkedIn Recruiter. It's your LinkedIn Recruiter. The themes of the new candidate journey and intelligent candidate discovery are going to separate best in class over the next several years. And our hope is to partner with each of you to make those themes a reality. And as you further on your journey to attracting passive candidates. I'm personally very excited, having been at Talent Connect for the last several years. It's amazing to see how far we've all come. So many of you have completely elevated the role of talent acquisition in your organizations and delivered a fundamentally new level of value to your companies. And yet, we're in the midst of another tectonic shift in our industry. One that has the potential to change the world of recruiting just as the internet did several years ago. You need to prepare for that shift. And over the last year, we've been working to help you make that migration seamlessly and effectively. And to talk to you about how we're going to do that, I'm excited to welcome up Parker Burrill, our head of products for Talent Solutions, to show you what we've been working on. I'm so excited for you to see what he has to show. Let's welcome up Parker. What's up, man?
Thanks, Dan. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be back at Talent Connect. Welcome. Anyone recognize this chart? I'll give you a hint. It's not Justin Bieber's Twitter followers. It's actually the growth in smartphone users over the past 10 years. Today, 1 billion people are addicted to their phones. And they're using them to do many of the same things they used to do on desktop computers. But I don't need to convince you that the world's going mobile. For most of us, this is the first device we interact with in the morning and the last one we check before bed. Now, you just heard from Dan how LinkedIn has evolved from a collection of powerful products into a seamlessly integrated talent platform. What used to be vision has become reality. I'm here today to extend this new reality into the mobile world, to take the new candidate journey and intelligent candidate discovery and bring them to life on mobile. And on that note, I'm excited to announce 4 new products that all have one thing in common: mobile. But we'll get to that in a moment, because first, I'd like to start with something fun. Now, those of you who were here last year may remember that I started my keynote with a live people search. And it was a powerful way to illustrate the scale of LinkedIn and the speed of searching in Recruiter. This year, I'd like to try something a little different. This year, I'm looking for an insanely fast mobile typist. And I figured that the best way to find this person would be to do a live test. So in just a moment, I'll share my phone number and a short message. And the first person to text that message back to me right here live on stage will get something special. So phones out. You ready? OK. Please text "I love Talent Connect" to 650-453-8108. All right. That was fast. First text is in. Let's take a look. I love Talent Connect. Looks right. It's from 607-229-2964. If that's your mobile number, will you please stand up? Oh, come on, man. All right. I'd like you to come up here on stage. Everyone, this is VB. He's actually a product manager on my team at LinkedIn. And apparently, unbeknownst to me, he can type really fast on his phone. Kids these days. All right. So, VB, I brought you up here because I'd like to have you apply to a job on your phone right here live on stage. But just to make it a little easier, I've actually preloaded the apply flow for a company who shall go unnamed on my phone. So why don't you just go ahead and use this one? Take a look. Does that look like a pretty standard ATS apply flow? Yeah? OK. All right, go ahead. Now, while VB's typing away, I wanted to remind everyone that this is actually my personal phone number. So probably best not to save it, because I don't want anyone calling me at 4 a.m. with feature requests, especially not after the party tonight. What happens at Talent Connect stays at Talent Connect. Got it? OK. OK, good. All right, VB, how's it going? Done yet?
Got it.
Getting there? All right, well, we don't have all day, so let me see how far you got. Name, email, phone, cover letter. Cover letter? On a phone? Got to be kidding me. No wonder you couldn't finish.
Right.
All right, well, thanks for your help. Why don't you go ahead and have a seat? Can we give VB a round of applause? Thank you, VB. You know, that was interesting, because if it's hard for VB to apply to a job on his phone, imagine how the rest of us feel. You know, it actually reminds me of one of my favorite Simpsons clips of all time. Let's take a quick look.
I gotta call the plant and warn them.
The fingers you have used to dial are too fat. To obtain a special dialing wand, please mash the keypad with your palm now.
Yeah, I mean, that's how most of us feel typing on tiny smartphone keyboards. But all joking aside, I am serious about one thing. Mobile is different. You can't just take a feature that works on the web and put it on a phone. You have to start from scratch, understand mobile behaviors, and rebuild from the ground up. And at LinkedIn, we've learned this firsthand because we've been building mobile apps for years. Today, our flagship consumer app is winning awards and growing faster than ever. In fact, over 30% of LinkedIn visits now come from mobile. So this is an opportunity to reach a whole new world of passive candidates. And one of the best ways to reach passive candidates is Work With Us, which has been a huge success since we launched it a few years ago. Now, in designing Work With Us, we started with two simple premises. First, profile is the most viewed page on LinkedIn. And second, people like to work with people they know. So we decided to build Work With Us, which lives on the right-hand side of profile pages and displays jobs that are relevant for the viewer at the company of the person whose profile they're viewing. So, for example, if I'm looking at the profile of a friend who works at Acme Inc., I'll see jobs at Acme that are relevant for me. This is a powerful way to turn your employees into ambassadors for your talent brand. And it works. Right away, we knew we had a hit on our hands because click-through rates are 10 times higher for Work With Us than for traditional recruitment ads. Which brings me to today's first new product. I'm excited to announce that Work With Us is now available on mobile profiles. It appears at a special section right near the top that's sure to drive lots of engagement. But the best part is, it's free for existing Work With Us customers. No extra cost, no configuration required. So now, when someone looks at your employees' mobile profiles, they'll see relevant jobs at your company. This is incredibly valuable real estate, and it extends the mobile footprint of your talent brand in a way that's only possible on LinkedIn. But it's not just Work With Us. We put jobs in the mobile app a little over a year ago, and today, 25% of job views come from mobile. But jobs engagement on LinkedIn is different from other sites, because many of those views come from passive candidates who click on jobs in the feed. So you need a way to help your job stand out. Well, last year at Talent Connect, we announced a feature that does just that. sponsored jobs. Here's a quick refresher on how sponsored jobs work. We started with jobs you may be interested in, LinkedIn's job recommendation system that connects the jobs you post with the right passive candidates, and today generates over 50% of jobs engagement on LinkedIn. Then we added the ability to sponsor jobs that are senior or urgent or hard to fill, and have those jobs appear right at the top of jobs you may be interested in modules all across the site. You just set a bid and a budget, and we automatically target the right passive candidates. Every candidate who clicks is relevant, because otherwise, we wouldn't have shown them the job in the first place. Over the past year, thousands of companies have started sponsoring jobs, and the results have been extremely promising. Sponsored jobs get 50% more applies than jobs that aren't sponsored. So this is a powerful way to turbocharge your most important jobs. And that brings me to today's second new product. I'm excited to announce that we recently launched sponsored jobs on mobile. Woo, yeah. So now, when LinkedIn members open the mobile app, they'll see relevant sponsored jobs in their feed. Not only are click-through rates higher on mobile, but 50% of candidates who engage in jobs on mobile don't view jobs on the desktop site, which means that mobile is the only way to reach them. So now, and like Work With Us, this feature works automatically for existing campaigns. Same jobs, same bids, same budgets. So now you have a way to reach the most in-demand passive candidates on mobile at scale. All right, so we're getting jobs in front of the right candidates on mobile. But you don't just want views, you want applies. And passive candidates will only apply if the process is dead simple. So we've spent a lot of time thinking about how to turn passive candidates into warm leads, which brings me to today's third new product, Mobile Apply. Now, in designing Mobile Apply, we faced two challenges. First, it's hard to attach a resume on a phone because most phones don't have file storage. So we decided to let candidates apply with just their LinkedIn profile. And we made it easy for them to edit their profiles during the apply flow to ensure that they're complete and up to date. Second, many employers direct candidates to a career site or ATS to apply. But most of those sites aren't optimized for mobile. So we devised a way to let members complete the apply process right in our app and then deliver their profile information directly to a client system behind the scenes. The result is a quick, seamless apply process that's optimized for mobile. Let's take a closer look at how it works for a member named Kevin. First, Kevin opens the mobile app and starts browsing through his feed. He sees a job that looks interesting and clicks to learn more. Now, on the job description page, he sees the new Apply button. Clicking Apply takes Kevin through a quick two-step flow. Step 1, confirm or update your profile. Step 2, add your contact info. That's it. Just 2 simple steps. And after applying, Kevin lands back on a list of jobs so that he can continue his search. It's really that simple. Could probably apply to a few dozen jobs before I finish my keynote. And LinkedIn is hiring, by the way. Now, we launched Mobile Apply in August, and since then, results have been off the charts. We've had over 800,000 applications submitted via mobile, and many of those applications come from passive candidates who don't engage in jobs on the desktop site. So now, with Mobile Apply, you're not just reaching new passive candidates on mobile, you're converting them into warm leads. All right, we've covered a lot, so time for a quick recap. Members are flocking to LinkedIn's mobile app, and we're connecting them with the right job opportunities on mobile profiles and in the feed. And we've made it dead simple for passive candidates to apply on mobile. The new candidate journey has become the mobile candidate journey. But what about you, the recruiters? Well, over the past year, we spent a lot of time talking with you to better understand how you work. And we learned that, like other professionals, you're on the go, attending career fairs, meeting with candidates, or just having lunch with your friends. Your job doesn't just happen at your desk. And we heard lots of great stories, so I wanted to share one from a client named Rose, who leads technical recruiting at a company in Texas. Rose said, "I was at Reliant Park in Houston on a cold Saturday night for a 5K fun run. While I was running, a candidate I'd been pursuing finally responded to my in-mail after weeks of radio silence. I literally stopped running, walked over to the side of the road, pulled my phone out of my pocket, and called him back right then and there." Talk about an adrenaline rush. And I love that story because it shows Rose's commitment to her cause and the power of responding quickly. We heard stories like this from hundreds of recruiters, and every one of you said that you want the freedom to stay connected no matter where you are. Well, I've got good news. Over the past several months, we've been working with a team of mobile designers to do for Recruiter what we've already done for LinkedIn. Build a simple, beautiful mobile app that captures the essence of Recruiter in a phone-sized package. Oh, hold on. Today, I'm incredibly excited to announce the launch of Recruiter on mobile. We took the most important functionality in Recruiter, redesigned it from the ground up to be optimized for mobile, and packed it into an incredibly useful and beautiful mobile app. So now you can use Recruiter at Starbucks, on the couch, at the craps table tonight, wherever you want. Let's take a closer look at how it works. All right, when you open the app, you'll see the same update stream as on your Recruiter homepage. This helps you understand what's changed since you last logged in and guides you toward the things that need your attention. For example, if a prospect you're following updated his or her profile, or if there are new results for a search you saved. Now, at its core, Recruiter is designed to help you find and contact top talent. So we made it easy to pivot into search and messaging. Let's take a quick look at the inbox. Let's say you're on your way to meet someone with whom you've been trading messages, and you can remember her name, Susan Smith, but you want a quick refresher on her work history. Well, now you can look her up with just a few taps on your way to the meeting. And when you're done, you can save her to a project or add notes while she's fresh in your mind. All of the key workflow functionality is embedded in the app. The app is also designed for prospecting. So let's say you recently read an article about Stanford's computer science program, and you want to find some recent grads. You can search across the entire LinkedIn member base from the search bar in the top nav and see the same results as in Recruiter, including full profiles for people outside your network. Results are easy to scan, and you can swipe through them for faster browsing. It's really slick. When you find someone you're interested in, it's easy to shoot them a quick message, or if you've entered their phone number, you can text or call them from within the app. And all of your interactions are tracked on the recent activity module to ensure that you and your team stay coordinated. Most important, the app empowers you to react quickly. In settings, you can turn on push notifications to be alerted when you have new messages. Because sometimes a few hours makes a difference between closing and losing a top candidate. This isn't just another mobile app. This is the full power of Recruiter on your phone. 238 million professionals in the palm of your hand. Wow. All right, so now that you've seen the app, you're probably asking yourself, one, how much does it cost? And two, when can I start using it? Any guesses on number one? That's right, it's free. Free for anyone with a Recruiter account. Yeah. How about number two? Just a moment. Let me take a look here. Yep, how about now? The app is available right now. iPhone users can go to the App Store, search for LinkedIn Recruiter. Everyone else can access the mobile web version at linkedin.com/recruiter. All right, so hopefully by now you're busy downloading the app and only half listening. But I wanted to close by saying that this isn't about changing the way Recruiter works. This is about changing the way you work. LinkedIn gets mobile, and LinkedIn gets recruiting. We've started bringing those worlds together in ways that no one else can. But this is just the beginning. Expect us to be innovative, expect us to be mobile first, and expect us to lead the way in mobile recruiting for years to come. Welcome to connecting talent with opportunity at mobile scale. Thank you.